Hey boardies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. Today I'm bringing you how to set up, play and review the game Uno. This is from 1971. In fact, as you might see here, this edition is from 2021 in January, and finally I've actually seen a version which does say 50 on it, obviously the 50th anniversary, which is typically only in Canada for some reason. Now this is a 2 to 10 player game, ages 7+. I've played this game many times, logged over 50 plays for this particular game, and it's based on the game Crazy Eights. This is the commercial version of that classic card game. There's a playlist called Classic Card Games, which of course you can check out, and let me tell you how to play the game. So you're going to shuffle up these decks of cards. As you can see, it does say Uno one direction, and the number is in one direction too, but aside from that you can just go off the top left hand corner, or if you wish, the bottom right hand corner. So the aim of the game is to get rid of all your cards. You are going to have a total of 7 cards each of this 112 card deck. Every card there is twice, and there are some wild cards as well. So the aim of the game is to get rid of all your cards, so you can have 7 cards each. I'll just do one person's hand initially. If you are enjoying this video, please hit the subscribe button, notification bell. Also, please ensure you go through and support the channel via Patreon, and also via Linktree. You can occasionally see competitions there. They are time sensitive, so keep checking back. And going through there, you'll find Instagram, so please follow. There's over 2,500 posts, and also like on Facebook to join the discussion. So you're going to have 7 cards. You're also going to reveal a card. That's going to be the leading card to start off with, and someone's going to go first, normally left of the dealer, going clockwise. If an action card, which I'll show you what that looks like in a second, basically you're going to draw another card. This is not an action card. An action card is a special card, such as this special card, which happens to be Shuffle Hands. This is a new version of this particular game. So that means you're taking in all the cards that everyone has, and then they're going to be shuffled out and dealt out equally, starting with the person to your left. So next, I can play a card. Let's say it's my turn. I can play a card. It's got to match either the colour or the number, so I can match this, and the next person's going to play a card. It's got to be a 7, or it's got to be a red, or they've got to drop a card. If they drop a card, they can now play onto it again. It's been quite fortunate with all of my shuffles and deals so far. That means the next person has to play an extra 2 cards, or pick up 2 cards, and that ends their turn. Now, interestingly, I've seen various versions of this game whereby if someone else can play another +2, next person has to play obviously 4, next person has to play 6, and that can keep going on. So that's how the game goes. When you get down to 1 card, you call out Uno, hence the name of the game, and that is something you have to be aware of because you could be caught out. Now you can play these blocking cards, which means the next person skips a turn, so they can be used strategically and when you want to play them. And I talked about other action cards. We have the skip, we have this one, the reverse card. It changes direction, you can play it on each other. And as soon as a card is placed down like this, unlike other versions I've seen, if that was played like this, it doesn't mean you can use the 8 as well. Other games I've seen you can use the 8. Now we've also seen that wild card, so a wild card can be used. It can be played in anything, so you can then name which colour you want to change something to. And as for a wild, particularly a wild with a +4, which I'll show you in a second, that can only be played if you cannot match the present colour or number. So if you happen to have a 5 and a green down, and you've got no greens, you've got no 5s, then you can play that. Otherwise you cannot play that, which means if that's your last card, you've got to draw up. So what do I think of the game? Let's talk about the quality of the cards. Shiny and fresh and pingy by Mattel. And I remember even the original designer was selling it out of their card boot at various sales. I think when they sold it to Mattel, they're getting 10 pence or 10 cents off every commission they made. Hundreds of millions of dollars, so very effective. Now, if you happen to finish off this review by mentioning, but if you do have a matching card in your hand, you can maybe play it onto the discard pile, so now that's the next card. If you do not have a matching card, you draw a card from the draw pile, and if you do draw it, you can play it down. So if you happen to have blue, if you happen to have a blue here, you can play a blue, but you don't have to. You can hold it back if you want to. So as for the review, well, there is some luck to the game. It is a quick game. You're talking under 8 minutes typically for a game, even as say 4 players. But as great it is, and as cathartic it is just to play out this quick game, there are better alternatives I find out there. So do check out everything else on that How to Set Up, Play and Review playlist. Also check out my playlist relating to obviously AmassGames. So any other things you want to know, please let me know in the comments. Comments on YouTube are best. And lastly, if you have any other questions, do check out the description in YouTube as well. Aside from that, please ensure you share, and I look forward to your support. And lastly, I will say that this has been the game of Uno, and back to the table.